Doma Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Two legends in the sport, two future Hall of Famers. Just they couldn't meet because they're a little bit how would I say, they're far away in weight, right? So they couldn't really ever meet. And if they were the same weight, this wouldn't even be a question anyway, because I personally don't think one of the fighters would fight. But three weight divisions lower than Canelo, then this is gaining steam right now. Now, as far as the fight goes, I think it's a significant fight. I think it's a pretty damn good fight. If Canelo Alvarez is not going to stay in his division and fight the people he should, like Dave Benavidez and Dave Morrell, who are mandatories since forever, then I would rather him, like I said before, I'd rather him fight Terence Crawford next. And if he's going to ever fight Jamal Charlo or whatever, if that has to be, then let Jamal have a fight or two and get himself back together. Similar to Errol Spence, right? Let him have a fight or two, let the public see if that he's back to what he used to be or close to it. So therefore, if you're going to fight somebody lighter than you in weight, then Terence Crawford. Now, three weight divisions is a lot of pounds. I mean, about 21 pounds or something. At the end of the day, though, if somebody can do it, it's Terence Crawford. And Terence Crawford, we know one thing going to happen is it's going to be a good fight because Terence Crawford ain't going to just sit down and lay down for nobody, and he don't think Canelo's better than him. Canelo is bigger than him, and Canelo hits hard, and it's still Canelo Alvarez. Canelo has an impeccable chin. People always try to say that Canelo doesn't have good defense. I beg to differ. Gennady Golovkin won. Daniel Jacobs' fight, he showed head movement from another planet. So Canelo has skills, but the only issue I have is when they start calling him the very best. Because the very best fighters don't have fighters in their weight division that people think are better than them. They're the baddest one in their weight division and maybe a weight division up and a weight division down. I always say in or around the weight division. The best fighter in the world should be that. And Canelo has never been the best in a division. Like ever. Not unequivocally. You know what I'm saying? 154, he wouldn't fight Demetrius Andrade, who was the champion. He was the mandatory, didn't want to do it. And you had both Charlos there at 154, begging to fight, all three of those guys. So he can't be categorically the best there. At 160, he fought Gennady Golovkin. Remember? The first fight, what do you really think? Golovkin won that one. The second could have been a draw. They gave Canelo a win because everybody was talking about Mexican style and standing in front of him. Canelo did that. So therefore, people just ignored the fact that he still didn't really win the fight. Kind of like Tyson Fury when he fought Deontay Wilder the first time and he got knocked down in 2 different rounds, but they were acting like Tyson Fury won all the other rounds. You don't get rounds for sticking your chin out and put hands behind your back. But if you really just sit back and score the fight, then you'll realize. And take the knockdowns out. Just go from round 1 to round 6, and tell me that Tyson Fury won all of those. Then you can have an argument. But he didn't, right? But he had antics going on. So that's not how you score, you know what I'm saying? So even Canelo Alvarez, who has super defense and whatever, he had an issue at 160 pounds with Gennady Golovkin, and he wouldn't fight Demetrius Andrade again for undisputed. Undisputed in the middleweight division. He wouldn't do that. So he wasn't categorically the best at 160. And at 168 with David Morrell and Dave Benavidez, hell no. Right, he went and fought all them other people. Matter of fact, remember he fought Billy Joe Saunders instead of Demetrius Andrade? Billy Joe Saunders and Demetrius Andrade were supposed to fight. You guys remember what happened? Billy Joe Saunders was doped, so he couldn't fight. And then he did some ridiculous stuff in the internet, a couple of lewd acts, which he should have been suspended and stuff for. And instead of fighting Demetrius Andrade, the clean fighter, he waited on Billy Joe Saunders. Told everybody that was whack. I ain't gonna call no boxers whack because ain't none of them whack. Everybody's not as good as others, right? We'll say that because Caleb Plant is a great guy, great fighter, right? Just disciplined. Billy Joe Saunders isn't, but Billy Joe Saunders is talented. He's not that disciplined, but the boy is talented. I gotta give him that. I ain't gonna just hate on everybody like they can't fight. These fighters can fight a little bit, but we're talking about Canelo and being the very best. That's what we're talking about. When you're talking about the very, very best, then you're graded differently. So at the end of the day, Canelo hasn't never been categorically the best. He went up to 175 to fight somebody he thought was easy in Bivol. Bivol beats him categorically, and he don't even mention his name anymore. Have you noticed? Now, I ain't going back and messing with that. Even though that guy said, I'll come down to 168 to fight you there, so there's no excuses. Didn't even want that. See what I'm saying? So, you know, and then everybody else that's not all that, we're talking about. You know, the Jaime Munguias of the world, you know. Yeah, whatever. I ain't going to even go there. Whatever. But the bottom line, Canelo hasn't been the very best in any division yet. So I don't understand how he got the face of boxing and the very best and #1 pound for pound moniker, even though he done some things, but, you know, not the very best boxer, you know. But anyway, Canelo would be the favorite against Terence Crawford if they meet at 168 pounds. If they met at like 160, I don't know then. We got a different type of thing. But if Terence Crawford has to go all the way up to 168 pounds, Canelo better be the favorite. You know what I mean? Because he's the very best fighter we got, as what people say. And he's 3 divisions higher, bigger. So if he ain't the favorite, then something wrong. Matter of fact, and watch the odds. Make sure when the odds come out for the fight that you watch the odds to see what people really think with money. You see what I'm saying? Because when you're playing with the money, it's different. So the fight is gaining steam right now. It could happen. I don't know when it's supposed to happen. I haven't heard anything like that. I'm just hearing that it's, you know, it's getting maybe closer. So let's see what happens. If it's closer and we got dates and stuff like that, then I'll holler back at you. But as of right now, it's still talk. But if it happens, it's going to be a good fight. It's something that you would definitely, you know, be hyped about weeks before the fight. You know, those kind of fights where you're not waiting for the, you know, you don't just say on the night of the fight, oh, it's some boxing on, let me check it out. No, you waiting 3 weeks before, you into it. Those are big fights, and that would be one of those. So let's see what happens. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.